he's back.
Yeah. Do you want to use the N-word today in your report?
You want me to go through?
Yes. All these days in the law.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Law Talk with Mike is a low production value sort of a thing. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, it's okay. You know, I'm sitting on a porch, so who am I to judge right now?
You want me to go through?
Yes.
Thank you, United Me.
This is actually posted. This is actually being seen by several.
You want to hold on to that? And I'll just come back to that?
Yeah. I'm with the newspaper. We've got.
Okay, so Glenn Serio has a court date, and he's getting harassed on the way in by Tella Klein, and it seems really nasty. If you're not aware, I've got a whole playlist on Glenn Serio,
And I've got
Ms. Davis has done some videos with me regarding Glenn Serio, and she has a fantastic video on her channel, Debbie Davis Says.
Yes, because Debbie Davis said, if you see it, you know that I said it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you would know from watching those videos that while this seems sort of mean, this guy's got it coming to him.
I don't necessarily endorse that opinion. I haven't seen this yet, so I'll reserve.
Oh, hi, this is Tella and Combat here with a report on Glenn's hearings today. I'll let Combat start first in Bellevue.
Yeah, so I went down to King County for his case in Bellevue. That was at 1 o'clock, and it was on the docket right up until 1 o'clock, then it disappeared, so I went and spoke to the clerk.
And Glenn arrived early to court. If you saw my other video, he was in the courtroom early. He was quite upset that I was here and there was another member of the Glenn support group here. And
a Glenn support
was
group?
really upset
Are they
before
official? They have
court.
t-shirts and stuff?
I think that's sarcastic. I think that she means those two.
Sorry about
Telling us that he
That's my...
Is Raptor out there?
That's my husband woohooing as he drives around the Circle Drive in the four-wheeler because he saw me up here doing this. So of course he's going to be totally obnoxious.
Yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I mean, sorry. So back on. I'm here.
It's all good. It's all good. I was born in Michigan. I get it.
didn't want us there to disrupt his hearing. He told the clerk that I was just there to cause problems. So then Michael Jones, his attorney, showed up and they called his case right away. And Michael Jones stood up there and he said that the case out of district court.
So the Michael Teo police station?
Yes, the Michael Teo case.
Yep.
By the way, what they're referring to is he's got another court date on another charge. They're referring to the case that you and I talked about.
Oh, okay.
Where he went nuts on the police officer, and it was okay. So that just to catch you up,
had been dismissed, and the prosecutor just nodded his head and said, "Okay." So the judge said, "Okay, case dismissed. We will dismiss this case." Glenn turned around and grinned at me in court, and then we all left in disbelief. And so we were outside of the court and waited, and when the prosecutor came out, we asked the prosecutor what was up, what happened, and what just happened. And we said, "Are you aware that the case from Michael Teo was not dismissed, that Glenn signed a deferred prosecution agreement?"
Okay, so this is where it's at, and I had a whole bunch of people ask me about it. He had another case, not that case, another case. Apparently, whatever they were doing was premised on what happened with that case. Okay, which makes sense to me.
I mean, that happens because you don't. It's not great to prosecute in two jurisdictions on the same thing if it's like your resources are limited potentially, and if you're going to put him on probation, he wouldn't be on two probations. So, right. I mean, I can see where they may.
So the defense attorney steps up and says that case was dismissed. The case was not dismissed. He signed an agreement on a deferred prosecution.
That's not the same as a dismissal.
It's not the same as a dismissal. And everyone asked me to comment on this. And I said, well, here's the deal. Attorneys have a duty of candor to the court. So if that's factually false, he shouldn't be doing that. Can they revisit it? Yes. Can they recharge it? Yes. Can they do? I don't know. It's a Washington criminal matter. I don't practice law in Washington, and I don't handle criminal matters.
He's so obnoxious.
Good for
I should
him.
videotape him, make him.
He's a good man.
Yeah,
He's a good man.
He
I
just
like
finished
it.
mowing, so I started to
He's
set up in the
mowing a
backyard.
yard.
God, that we mow so much.
If a man can't be obnoxious of mowing his own yard,
no, he's
won't
not
come
mowing
along.
the yard. He's riding around on a 4-wheeler right now. Like,
yeah,
just,
that's good enough too.
yeah. I mean, checking the property lines or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway, sorry.
I do
So
that
going
too.
back,
Yeah. You just got to go around and make sure that
Yeah, just like
it's guy stuff.
checking
It's
the
guy
perimeter.
stuff. It's stuff you got to do.
Yeah, totally man stuff. Anyway, going back to this, you'd have a duty of candor. I've
Right.
gotten burned. You've seen me get burned, I think, on a few cases
I have.
where I don't think that people were completely truthful, which is frustrating. But
Might have involved somebody with multiple DUIs that didn't disclose.
I don't recall right offhand. I'm not going to talk about any particular cases. However, in this situation so I guess, are you like completely comfortable with what a deferred prosecution is versus like, a dismissal or
Yes.
delayed?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know if
everyone's not. That's the difference.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's different varieties of deferrals. So there's some that are statutory deferrals. So like your first domestic violence charge in Michigan, if the prosecutor agrees, which really comes from the victim, if the victim agrees and then the prosecutor says, yeah, you can do a deferral where you have to take an anger management class as part of the probation and then do a probationary period. And if you successfully complete it, it comes off of your public record. Now, it's still an arrest. It's still there. So it's state police or the court system. If you were to get in trouble again, it does count for supplementing you as a second
Right.
DV offender. But it defers it off of your public record. And same like for drug charges, we have a 7411 deferral for your first drug charge. But delayed prosecution can look a couple different ways. Like you may not enter a plea at all and they just leave it, but set it out 6 months and then set it for a last pretrial that's 6 months out or whatever. And if you stayed out of trouble, the prosecutor could then, in their discretion, dismiss the case. But I don't know what his version of it was. Because sometimes you enter a plea, but it's a plea under advisement, and then they set it out for sentencing 6 months. And in the meantime, if they don't screw, my husband is so obnoxious. I'm glad you can't see him. And in the meantime, I'm gonna point my camera at him like 5 minutes if he continues this.
Rob, do you have any problem with her husband photobombing this with his 4-wheeler? Because I
Oh
don't.
my God. But the
No, I
things
love
he's
it.
doing are so not
Absolutely.
appropriate.
This
is a
there's no
family
guy in the
show.
world who does not understand this concept.
It's a family show. Okay, but anyway, so I'm not sure what variety Glenn Serio was availed to. So I
think he had like I can't remember the terms. It was 6 months or a year deferred prosecution, which is stay out of trouble. But it wasn't a dismissal.
well, I mean, sometimes prosecutors, so that the judge's docket doesn't get clogged up with these, sometimes the prosecutor will dismiss it, and then the prosecutor will wait 6 months and review like their lien to see if they've had anything, and then if they have, they would reauthorize it.
Okay,
Does
so
that make
that's what's
sense?
fair. All my viewers were asking me, what is this? And I said, you know what? I don't know the specifics of it. What I will say in generalities, an attorney has a duty of candor to the court.
Well, right,
So-
absolutely.
So if that wasn't the case and he knew it wasn't the case and he said that, well then that's bad. But if it could be
So that's where you get
if it
into
could be
that
considered
sticky
that,
situation.
then
'Cause, I
it's
mean,
not so
if
bad.
If it was in fact, theoretically, it could have been dismissed with a nolli prosequi, right? A nolli. And that's signed by the prosecutor.
whoa.
Signed,
You call it a nollie?
we do.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
nollie all day long, buddy. Well, not really, because we don't nollie a whole lot. But when we have a nollie, you get a nollie. So if the prosecutor signed a nollie, judge then signs it, the case is technically dismissed, but it's without prejudice, meaning we can bring it back at any time. If Glenn were my defendant that I was dealing with and I did this particular variety of dismissal or deferral, if I got one hint that he was doing something a week in, 2 weeks in, 2 months in, automatically we go in, reopen the case, reauthorize, and we're back on. But
knowing what I know, Glenn would be strung up if you were prosecuting him.
I mean, I
And should be.
treat
And
people
should be.
with fairness and dignity. I would look at the case carefully.
Okay, Rob. Now that I got you on here, buddy.
Rob wants a nollie.
I did a sound check at my office with my assistant. She actually forced me into this. It's her fault, Yesenia. And we did the microphone, and you know what? It worked out okay.
Okay, we're good.
So we are good for tomorrow. What are we looking at? I try to get you. I'll send you a better picture. What are we looking at for tomorrow?
I had to get a glamour shot of Mike. So first of all, someone in the chat was awesome. They said nollie oxen free, and I freaking love
like
that.
that.
That's awesome. Nollie oxen free.
I mean, the oxen, the reference. I'm digging that too. That's pretty funny.
But to your chat, Mike, I had Mike send me some stills. I was like, "Do you have stills so I can make a little thumbnail for the stream tomorrow?" And he's like,
Oh
"Sure."
no!
And it's like, there may be a photo of Mike like intimately kissing his dog.
I'm
I'm not saying.
I think that's
gonna
illegal in some jurisdictions. I'm just letting you know ahead of
I don't know,
time.
Debbie. Can you bring charges like against?
If it comes into my jurisdiction, I would look at it carefully.
Oh my God! I had a case. It was in Judge Simpson's courtroom, and they were talking about a dog, and it was this whole thing.
Oh.
And poor Judge Simpson has to bring up. He's like, okay, it's the Dog Owners Act or whatever of 1909, and I'll be damned if he didn't look it up. And he's citing this thing word for word.
1909. You know, there are some statutes on the book still that might need to be tweaked, updated a touch. That legislature just hasn't gotten to that one yet. Maybe now. It's brought to their attention.
There are some poison pills in Virginia law, because Virginia, I mean, look, we got laws in the books that are way back. For example,
like horse thievery.
Well, there was an old law on the books that I know of. This is kind of a family friend of a friend, who was very, very wealthy and wanted to build a second living dwelling on his property.
Why not? I mean,
he did. He wanted a mother-in-law suite, but he wanted a mother-in-law like house, like to keep her a little bit further away.
Good call.
Zoning blocked it. They said, nope, one structure per residence in the zoning. He found an old piece of Virginia law that allowed for you to build a second quarters if it was second quarters for indentured servants.
Oh Lord, yeah.
And you can see it's like
he's pulling up the 1798 law here.
It's like it's a poison pill statute, because you want to bring that up in the legislature and argue that? No freaking way. So he went back to the zoning commission. He was like, "Look, I'm using this old statute. You want to challenge it? You really want to be the people that are going to bring this up in court? Or you just want to give up and then just realize.
Just let me have my mother-in-law suite, okay? The tiny house type thing, and I'm sure it wasn't going to be tacky looking, right? He was going to.
I'm sure.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's like inside stuff that we deal with.
That's crazy.
That's good. That's good for my law nerds. Okay. So all right, so whatever. We don't know if Glenn was we don't know if Glenn's attorney was honest.
I mean, I don't know. It very well could have been dismissed with the deferral agreement that says stay out of trouble for 6 months, and if you do, it stays dismissed. And if you don't, we reauthorize. And if that's the case, then he's correct.
because everyone wanted to tell me, oh, the defense attorney lied, and I'm like, I don't know if he did or
No,
didn't,
I
because I'm
wouldn't
not
go
familiar with the
saying that.
law, and I'm not familiar with all the circumstances. I will say, as a general matter, you have a duty of candor to the court. That's what I
That's
will
it,
say.
Mike. Get him on the show. We're gonna have to look him up. And you're gonna get him on, and we're gonna
bring him on
grill
here?
him.
Oh,
And-
we'll
and just
grill him,
ask
all
him.
of us.
And then we're gonna say like Mike Jones. Is that his name? Like seriously,
And-
Mike Jones? Because
Yeah, this is all out in Washington.
in my head laughing about that.
It's all
I'm
out
sorry.
in Washington.
It's a music
State, so
reference,
they-
Rob. You look super confused.
Which county?
Mike
Give me a 30
Jones.
second. Give me a 30-second recap. I know Mike Jones, like the.
Okay,
grill
I was
and
just
the-
double
yeah.
checking.
Yeah.
Maybe you
no,
can't
I'm-
imitate his voice as well as I can, but
I can't. Nowhere
know.
close. But I mean, you were really good.
thanks. I practiced a lot. I had
So
something
give
else to
me a
say,
30
but-
give me a 30-second catch up on this one.
Oh shoot, Mike. Rob has no clue who this person
Okay,
is,
so
why we're talking
this
about
guy's
it.
a 1A auditor. He what he does is he gets arrested for a pile of ticky tack things.
Yeah.
So he's getting sentenced on one, and they're referring to another, and they said it was dismissed, but really it was a deferred prosecution.
Okay. Got it.
And my thought is, yes, you have a duty of candor to the court, but I don't know the specifics, and it gets very intricate. And then, Deborah, you basically back me up on that without knowing it.
Well, I mean, I try.
All right.
And he
Finish up.
tried saying things like, oh, there's so many cases and this going on. And we said, no, we're talking about one case, not about all your other cases. We want to know about this one case, how his attorney can walk in and lie and say the case was dismissed. And the judge says, okay, this case is dismissed. So the prosecutor that was here was kind enough to look it up on his computer, and he was like, oh, you're correct. That wasn't dismissed. He signed a deferred. And we're like, exactly. And so the prosecutor agreed to go back and discuss it with the city prosecutor and see, they are going to revisit the case. I don't know if anything is going to come of it, but at least we spoke up and said, how can this happen? How can Glenn's attorney walk in and lie, and the prosecutor and the judge just accept what Glenn's attorney is telling them as fact?
I mean,
without
because we're
looking
officers
into
of
it
the
further.
court, we're supposed to not lie.
So I don't know if anything will come from it. If, as it stands now, the case is dismissed with prejudice. So hopefully
It is.
that
Why would they
this will be
dismiss it with prejudice?
revisited.
Oh, I
Number
don't
6 on the
think she
docket,
understands.
people versus.
Oh, okay. So let's just get back. Let's just get back to some horrible sovereign citizens.
Oh,
Bobby
Just cleanse our
Cunningham,
palate with that.
22147 FH.
Lieutenant for the people.
everything.
Mr. Cunningham present?
Cunningham present, visa soon.
All right, today is a pretrial, Mr.
Oh, this might be Michigan too. So you have no opinion, Deborah.
I have no opinion. I'm
Cunningham.
gonna sit silent.
Are you in talks with the prosecutor about a resolution, or would you like a trial date?
Basically, I was asking if I can actually adjourn it. Maybe the prosecutor wants to send some other documents. I have not had any communications with the prosecutor as well, for the record. Excuse me. From my understanding, as me representing myself, from my understanding, under the U.S. Constitution, I have a protected right under the Sixth Amendment of due process, which basically, under due process, I wouldn't be getting due process if I wouldn't question the original witness. In this case, excuse me, ma'am, is it possible that we can both come to the bench?
All right, I'll have a bench conference.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Cunningham.
Okay, for the record,
He wants a sidebar with no jury.
my understanding of the U.S. Constitution running concurrent and parallel to the Michigan Constitution, I have a right to due process under the Sixth Amendment law of the Constitution. From there, one, I didn't get the question. The original witness, was basically what they do in this case is stated. Me personally, I'm asking for a mistrial or a dismissal. Under those circulations of the documents that you do have in your hand, and also what was sent to me from the prosecuting office, October before, quote unquote, a backdated amendment, which basically wasn't a motion heard on, which still materials that I asked for, I still didn't have, such as the transcripts and the videos, to better circulate and get other references to for my court case. And it also will be a poisonous fruit law. Go ahead, Mel. Excuse me. For the record.
To do what?
Right, Mr. Cunningham, I have a hard time following you and following what you're asking for. And I've had the same problem in the past several hearings as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Today's a pretrial. It's not scheduled as a motion hearing. And what I'm going to do is require that you put your motion in writing and file it with the court so that I can consider it and try to follow the arguments that you're making, and that I can give them the consideration that they deserve. So if there's nothing else, and I'm not hearing anything that I feel that I can handle right now from the bench without having it in writing, I'm going to schedule a jury trial, and that doesn't stop you from filing any motion that you want, but it just puts the case on track to head to trial.
All right. Your Honor, just two things I would like to just place on the record here is that one, if the court prior to setting the trial or jury trial in this matter, if we could just, again, because this is the start of another proceeding, just advise Mr. Cunningham of his right to counsel and the cautions for one in representing themselves. And then also just to advise Mr. Cunningham that if you would like to discuss resolving the case, but not the merits thereof, as you have rights, and talking to me about the subject matter of the case may interfere.
This prosecutor, I don't know, this might be Genesee County. I'm not sure.
No,
I'm not sure.
The
But
guy on the
I've
bottom
seen this
right.
prosecutor before. He is like so professional and so nice.
Yeah, the dude just waived jury. Said, I want either a bench trial or a dismissal. Gee, let me think. Which way do I want to go with that one? I'll take a bench trial, thank you. Yeah, and he's like, can you please advise him again that he needs an attorney? Otherwise, he's going to end up saying something stupid.
Yep. This guy is, the prosecutor is so nice. He will mow them down, but he will give them every opportunity first. He really will.
Yep, here's the train coming. Please get out of the way. Please get out of the way. It's still coming. Yes, you're still right there.
Right.
No, the pennies that you put on the track are not going to derail the train.
No.
Please move.
Fear with those rights, but if you would like to discuss resolving the case, please feel free to either call my office or send me an email, whichever one is your pleasure as far as your method of communication, and I would be happy to discuss and offer in this case in resolving this short of a trial, if that is your desire, sir.
No, that would not be my desire. Once again, on your witness list, since this is a free trial, can you tell me on your witness list you have not kept in communication with me? You have not sent any documents. Basically, I only know of your witness list because of certain texts that was sent to me, sir. You have not been keeping it compliant to me to basically update me on your witness list. I've been trying to update you on your witness list. Last motion, I stated that basically it was not on your witness list. You have not even addressed that. I mean, you're talking to the courts. Excuse me. You're talking.
I think he can get this all dismissed on that witness list issue.
I don't know, but he was so close to an actual cognizable argument for a pretrial conference objection. Like he was so close. He was right there. Since we're at pretrial, can we talk about your witness list? Yes, we can. And then he just went off the freaking rails.
Yeah, I agree. Yes. It's like, oh, you almost got there.
That's close.
Mr. Cunningham,
You still have
this is something you can bring up by way
your
of motion.
witness for one.
Mr. Danner, is September
How long do I
19
have?
an acceptable trial date to you?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I didn't catch that date.
September 19 for jury trial?
September 19th, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. September 19th would be a, let's see here. Yeah, I believe there's only one other trial scheduled on that date in which I am looking to resolve. So
yeah, the other trial ain't going. Okay.
The 19th would work, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Cunningham, is September 19 acceptable to you?
That was due, but I have other prior engagements other than not to be rude.
He's got issues on September 19th. You got to be kidding me.
Than staying in Ann Arbor. If you can see some of the documents, state Kentucky. I was never, which the complaints say, since what's the complaint say, homeless. Which basically I had a whole address
Was that
in
a simple
Kentucky.
no that date is not good for you?
No, ma'am. Somewhere around December
Okay.
would be.
Thank you. October 3.
Prior
How's
engagement.
that?
Can you put it like around the 19th or the middle of the month?
I can't. I'm out in the middle of the month.
All right,
Is October 3 acceptable?
Yes, ma'am. It will have to do, ma'am.
Mr. Danner?
Yes, Your Honor. That would work for the people, Your Honor.
Okay, and then final pretrial, September 13.
All right, yes, ma'am. Lou Dane, if possible, could you send your information to my email as well?
Like her
I
number?
can see
He's
if I
given
have
you his
Really
email
awkward.
address previously, Mr. Cunningham.
Well, basically, if possible, that way we can keep communication. He can put a star on it or highlight, so therefore he knows when I send him documents or what type of motion I'm trying to move. I have been compliant and also have every motion gave to the prosecutor.
I really like what kind of motion I'm trying to move.
I don't know.
I
Rio
really
stamp.
do.
Rio stamp up above looks like he's about to take a nap.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And they have not responded, which basically is leading to quote unquote your time and the taxpayers' time as well. So I just give you my email address out in the public right now. UCC
Don't do
1-308 at
That is nice. He's looking out for the taxpayer.
Yep.
Yeah.
writeme.com. You can text me anything you think we can resolve this. You can move it out your day. I can move out my day, sir. Thank you.
Sir, I honestly did not understand that email. I am going to provide you my contact information again, sir,
Okay.
and I would encourage you to please reach out to me in regards to if you have any questions that are not about the merits of the case or to resolve it. I would encourage you, sir, to please reach out to me, and I will provide you my email again. It is my last name, which is on the screen here, Danner. My first
Yes, sir.
initial L, so it'll be Danner,
Yep.
L.
Where's Washington?
.org.
.org, exactly.
Yes, sir. And I can give you the number to the main line, and then you can ask for me, and they will direct you right to me. And those calls go right to my cell phone, so I will be able to answer regardless of if I'm in the office or not.
That's
Would you like that
terrible.
number, sir?
Let's go right to your cell phone.
This dude is too nice.
I can get the number, sir. I've been to the office already several times. I have been compliant. I'm not understanding why the judge. I'm not understanding me being compliant to them, but they're not being the same respect to me.
Mr. Cunningham, I will address a motion when you file it. I want to warn you yet again, as I'm required to, that representing yourself is not a good idea, that you would do very
So
well
are you my
to
advisor,
allow
attorney
yourself
now?
to be represented by an attorney. And I will appoint an attorney
my
to
attorney?
represent you, or I will appoint an attorney to act as standby counsel to you to help you navigate. But if you you have the right to represent yourself, if you do that, you are held to the same standard as an attorney, and you're expected to know and understand the court rules and the statutes, and to not smoke in court.
Oh, excuse me. Can I drink water? There's usually no water right there where I can drink it. Is that all right? Maybe not.
You may drink water. Are you? Would you like an attorney or standby counsel, Mr. Cunningham?
No, I just told you, man. No, not at all.
Okay.
Oh no, he's got this under control. He doesn't need any help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. We're all set. We'll call the next case.
Oh, here we go with more.
Number 34 on the docket, People versus Angela Weems, 22154 FH.
Tell me he has a
Lieutenant
ice
for the
cream
people.
cone.
Oh yeah, don't you guys bring ice cream cones to court?
All the time.
I've been doing this 25 years, not one ice cream cone in court. My entire career.
It's like playing the odds that this is going to be.
Hello, especially up here.
Oh, God.
Sir,
Oh,
would you
no.
mind?
Oh, all right.
I'm not going to have you eating an ice cream cone.
All right, I'm
in court.
sorry.
Your Honor, I had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Weems yesterday as well as today. Our conversation was cut short.
By the way, just for clarification, this is a different defendant.
Yeah.
They're on the same level, but it's a different defendant this judge is dealing with.
Yesterday, due to him suffering a bit of an injury due to a biking accident, but he did in fact reach out to me again before the docket here, and we discussed the matter, Your Honor, and I had informed Mr. Weems of the offer that the people were willing to make in this case, and have also informed him of the charges as they stand as far as all of the 4 counts alleged in the information. I had informed him of the offer and of a sentence agreement, and then informed him that I would need to make sure that I place the entirety of it on the agreement, on the record, before he makes any acceptance, as I wanted, if he was to accept the offer, for that acceptance to be done on the record, Your Honor. So if I may.
Before you get into that, just 1 second. I know that Mr. Weems is representing himself, but my notes have the public defender as standby counsel.
That is my understanding as well, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Weems, do you still wish to represent yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
No. Oh.
Have you been accepting the help of standby counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like us to wait until Ms. Noveski can join us in this hearing?
What was Mr. Vesky?
She's the public defender?
Oh, well, yeah, please.
Okay.
Oh, smartest thing he's ever
We'll
said.
hold on for just a minute. She's meeting with somebody else in another room.
Agreed.
And I'll take this minute to tell you, as I will tell you at every hearing, Mr. Weems, that you're entitled to an attorney. The court will appoint one if you can't afford one, and you would be well served to accept an attorney. You will do better with an attorney, and if you refuse an attorney, you're still held to the same standard as though you were an attorney. That is to know the court rules and the statutes and the case law of the state of Michigan.
Understood.
And we'll just hold on for Ms. Noveski. All right, we're still on the record. Ms. Noveski, we paused for a minute with Mr. Weems because the public defender is standby counsel to Mr. Weems.
Okay. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I didn't remember that.
No, that's all right. That's all right. And Mr. Danner was about to put an offer on the record. That's as far as we got.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. So the offer I had articulated to Ms.
Okay, Deborah, are you there? Do you happen to know Gina Noveski?
No, I do not. But I am here.
It's Washtenaw County. I was wrong. It wasn't Genesee. It's Washtenaw County.
Mm-mm.
It's dangerously close.
But Rob,
St. Joseph
you will be
County.
happy to know that Raptor is just crowing away.
Oh yeah,
There you
going
go.
nuts.
He must have heard that
Yep.
you were on here.
Awesome. He was so pumped.
Yeah, he's very excited.
Yes.
And the kids are hitting
Come on,
golf
Raptor.
balls in the front yard. So if you hear
Raptor's
whack,
rock
that's
solid.
why.
Yeah.
Yes,
love
Raptor
it.
is a rock star.
Mr. Weems, and I believe I also sent an email to the same effect, except for a little difference in the sentencing agreement portion of this to Ms. Noveski as well, is that Mr. Weems would be, the offer would be for Mr. Weems to plead guilty to count 1, the weapons offense, carrying a concealed weapon, and we would dismiss counts 2, 3, and 4. Further, there would be a sentence agreement to no upfront jail, probationary term of 12 months with the possibility of early discharge if all terms are completed within 6 months. And Mr. Williams, would you like to accept that offer?
Yes. Yes.
Please be done. Just please be done. Don't say anything else.
Yes.
I heard you. I'm sorry. I'm just getting ready to take the plea. Mr. Weems, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you'll give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Weems, you heard the agreement that, or the offer that was just put on the record. Is that what you would like to do?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Count 3, carrying a concealed weapon has a count 1, carrying a concealed weapon has a maximum penalty of 5 years or $2,500.
Yow.
If you plead guilty, you'll give up your right to a jury trial and your right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You'll give up your right to have witnesses against you appear and to question.
Carrying a concealed weapon has a maximum sentence of 5 freaking years.
Yes,
Is-
sir, it
is it-
does.
Is that felon in possession or is that
No,
just
that's
unlawful
just
carry?
that's just an unlawful carrying, and there's
Whoa.
that's more so used for like a gun, like a handgun in a motor vehicle. If you have it in the vehicle, that you're gonna get a CCW. But we can also use it for double-edged swords, dirks, stilettos, daggers.
Oh,
I don't see a whole lot
seriously?
of stilettos.
That's
but
why I stopped carrying my double-edged swords.
yeah,
honestly.
I mean,
I didn't want a CCW
Yeah.
out of that.
right.
Yeah, no.
And there's also carrying with unlawful intent. So even if
You know,
you're
that
carrying,
sucks though. Like I do like medieval like battles like randomly in different states and I have to carry my sword with me.
And I do everything
just
with
don't
unlawful
conceal
intent.
it. It's got to be an open carry then. Just open carry. Yeah.
Just open carry
those
my
witnesses
broadsword. on my
and your right
back.
to compel the appearance of witnesses on your behalf. You'll give up your right to remain silent and not have your silence used against you, and your right to testify on your own behalf if you should decide to do that. Your guilty plea could be a violation of probation or parole, and there could be immigration consequences if you're not a U.S. citizen. If you plead guilty, you will not be able to claim that your plea is the result of threats or promises not disclosed on the record, and you'll have no automatic right to appeal. So your only appeal would be by permission of the Court of Appeals. You'd also not be able to appeal any issues that might arise during trial, since you won't be going to trial. Do you understand these rights, Mr. Weems?
Yes.
Do you want to waive those rights and plead guilty here today?
Yes, Your Honor.
You've been threatened or coerced to get you to plead guilty.
No, Your Honor.
Have you been offered anything that wasn't disclosed on the record here today?
No, Your Honor.
Is it your choice to plead guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
You need a sentence agreement sheet.
He's done this before. That's those answers are too fast.
The allegation is that on January 18 of 2022, you were in the city of Ypsilanti in Washtenaw County at East Michigan Avenue and Miles. Is that true?
Yes.
At that time, did you have a handgun concealed with you in a car?
Yes.
And you were driving that car?
I mean, I don't know if I should disclose this sort of thing. Ypsilanti's rough. It's where Eastern Michigan is. I went to the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. They're about 3 miles apart, maybe. If you're on North Campus, it's about 1 mile apart. And you know, Ypsilanti's rough. I'll just say that.
I was traveling. Yes.
Traveling.
Are the people satisfied?
Yes, Your Honor.
In the defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Weems, are you satisfied?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll accept the guilty plea, find that it's knowingly and willingly made, and we'll schedule sentencing
July 19th.
July 19. Mr. Weems, do you want Ms. Noveski present for your pre-sentence interview?
Yes.
Okay. You need to call probation to schedule your interview. Can you take down the phone number?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
I'll just have to move my handgun out of the way.
No, that got confiscated unless he's got it.
I'm ready.
734.
73.
Oh, sorry. 222 3390.
I can't remember if this gets done.
Mr. Weems, please call tomorrow to schedule your pre-sentence interview.
There we go.
Okay.
It gets done.
And that's it. You're all set, sir.
I don't even know why, but okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Annie has asked very nicely for you to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. And if you ignore Annie, you do realize that that is considered capital felony treason.
Oh my God.